Good evening.
Damn it. We had odds on if we were going to start off with good evening.
Good evening, good afternoon. It doesn't matter. It's December 2nd, 2022. Welcome to Mik'd Up, everyone. Yes, the substitute teacher is here today. I am here.
And the kids are acting bad.
We're sponsored by Sterling Automotive, Heineken, Lance Beal. Who else? Run it down. What we got?
Assured
What we got?
Partners.
Assured Partners.
Frankie Harris.
A.K.A. Mikey Mahtook.
And
No big deal.
obviously,
where
we are right now today.
Uncle Earls.
Uncle
There
Earls.
you go. Let's run through it. We here. We got the Heineken headlines coming up. We'll run through it first off.
You got to introduce McGhee.
Well, McGee's here, baby. He's a regular on this thing. You know what it is. We flip
really
the camera to him. He's
slow
on
in this thing right here, but it's okay.
Yeah, you go get nice
Am
and
I small or
adjusted.
just low?
No, you got to sit.
Just
like,
tell
you
him
gotta
zoom
sit
in.
with it's like a Catholic school. You
Just
gotta
tell him
sit
zoom
with
into
your-
this thing.
I feel like I need a booster seat, but it's okay. Not the first time.
You better raise you
Hey,
up.
let's run through it. We got the Heineken headlines.
Let's go.
First off, we're going to give a nice little golf clap, round of applause to our boy Jack here, who put out another banger.
Bangers only.
I'm not going to say who I guess, if you want to call it competition is, but we're just going to say we're 2-0 right now. All right? We'll just say that. I won't say against who.
Wow.
You can figure out yourself. I just think we're about 2-0 right now. We'll keep going, though. We're going to give you an
Undefeated.
update on
Never
these
lost.
LSU injuries
Never
right
lost.
here with the
Happened
big
here.
game coming ahead. Huh? Yeah, okay, cool. We're going to give a little bit of predictions with, the Georgia-LSU game coming up. We also have a de facto playoff game tonight. USC, Utah. That game will be tonight. We'll talk about an incredible story written on Harold Perkins on The Athletic. If you haven't gotten a chance to read it, go get it. Get a good look into it, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Antonio Brown, lost it. Kanye West,
Lost
it. CP3, stray shots. We got Brett Favre, lost it. And we got Dylan Cruz, who's going to kind of end this thing up as being the #1 prospect in college sports, according to D1, along with 5 other LSU players who are also in that top 100. So we can give a little props to them. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but that's our headlines. We'll start with that. We'll start at the top a little bit here. Lloyd, what do you know about the injuries right now that is going on with the boys right now?
I'm tinfoiled hat all the way
Ahead
in.
of tomorrow's game. What you got from me? Talk to me.
Tinfoiled hat in. You know me. I believe that, look, there's a couple of things that have come out on the internet within the past couple of days. If you read them, the interwebs, which is the only thing we have to go off of because Brian Kelly. So let's run down the list, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
We did a little bit of this on a little bit on the morning show today, but you think about the first report you got about Jaden Daniels, right? We're gonna go with negative first. Well, let's go positive first. Josh Williams is back, and this all plays into the same thing. JBC is back.
And
Two
correct
good
me
things.
if I'm wrong. Brian gave a pretty good synopsis on Josh Williams and Bernard Converse, right? But there's 3 big names, and we didn't get much
And
of a
the
we didn't get much
third-
of a conversation on the other. But go ahead,
And
keep going.
Exactly. And this plays into the whole thing. So the third name was Jaden Daniels. The way that he phrased it was, let me find the quote real quick, is that he said Jaden practiced. Practiced. He practiced, and he looked good to go. And he said he'll play, which is the first thing that made me kind of raise my eyebrows. So it took me back to Monday or Tuesday. We had Jacques Doucet on, who said he went to the lunch presser, saw Jaden Daniels in a walking boot. Very interesting. So 2 things where he was hurt. You saw him kind of gimp off the field. And then the third thing, which I'll pull up if you haven't seen it, was the tweet that was put out by the one and only LSU football, which was heading to Atlanta with Jaden Daniels throwing. But guess who else was in the picture? Also taking reps? Garrett Nussmeier.
Which he should be.
No, I went back through their Twitter. They haven't posted Nussmeier in almost 3 months. So
That's the whole season.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
So
bro, you're
I'll tell you
reading
this.
into that.
Wait, so I'll tell you this. Here's the only thing.
No, I found it interesting that Nuss was included in the post too.
So I'll tell you this. Those 2 things don't really bother me and or alarm me. I will tell you this from my, I guess, which we'll call it spidey sense of kind of seeing this thing. I saw pictures / clips of practice this week. What I saw when I looked at the picture clips is there's a full body shot of Jaden, right? He's got 1 ankle taped. Now, this could be one of 2 ways. What's the last thing you want to be able to do, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, how people play games? What's the last thing you want to be able to do when it comes to preparing for an opponent? Is giving them what? An edge. Giving them what? Information. A clue. we're practicing with only one ankle taped. So they don't know. So they now know which ankle it is that hurts. That, for me, is either one way or the other. Either you're not that worried about the ankle that's hurt, so you just got that one
A
taped.
little precautionary.
Or you're not very comfortable with the tape, but you know you need it on one, so you're taping one and you're not taping the other. I don't know which one it is, but from the things I remember is it's not that
What are you guys
normal.
trying to say, that he's not going to play?
No, I think he's playing. I just don't think he's as healthy as
I will
you
go
may
as
think
far.
he is.
This is just me. I don't have any
he's
information
playing.
other than the things I do too. I think he will start, but I think if he looks gimpy at all and can't be Jaden Daniels, because what makes this, what I said this morning, what makes Jaden Daniels great?
His feet.
His feet. What makes him able to change the offense in a way where you have to have him out there? His ability to run the football, the ability that they base the entire offense off of him.
Yeah.
And so if he's not able to go, and if that's not effective and it looks bad, that's why I think Nussmeier is getting reps. It's a precautionary thing, but I think
Which he should be.
there's a legitimate
Right.
smoke around him
Okay, so
not being
early
able to
in
go.
earlier in the year, didn't he have a little something that was going on, lower leg injury, leading into the Auburn game? Does anybody remember that?
Something sort of like that, I think. I think you're
Something
right.
Similar to that?
Yeah, something similar to that.
I just remember going to that Auburn game, and then I thought he finally started looking downfield and throwing the football on time. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise that we'll start getting the ball downfield a little bit more, and he won't run around as much. I get that we want him to run around, but I don't think he can. He's not going to be ineffective if he can't run around.
No.
Doesn't have to be.
That for me, that's not what I'm getting to. For me, it's I'm wondering
I totally
how
disagree.
healthy you actually are.
About him being ineffective?
Yeah.
Kind of distracting.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Hey,
I
Uncle
don't-
Earl's
yeah,
moving.
So-
I think his game revolves around his ability to run.
No. But here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, look. You're not wrong when you say that. It's just for me. I know this, and playing through sports a lot, and McGhee, you can answer this too. When you go into a game, and whether they know it or not, but you know it in your head that you can't do something, it changes your, I guess, ability to actually play at a very high confidence level, right? Knowing that, hey, he's always had that to lean on to say, all right, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't trust this, I don't trust that. See you later, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right.
When you know that in your mind, you can't do it and you're not very comfortable in it, which also means you ain't going to be comfortable with staying in the pocket very long because you're not comfortable with how this ankle feels. I don't know how that'll play. So I do think he's going to play. I'm worried about how effective it's going to be. That's all. When I
So
think
the
about it.
Auburn game is when he actually had the little injury. And then after that, next three passing games, 300, 350, 248. Then we start to be able to run around a little bit more. 182, 86, UAB we threw for 300.
Right.
I'm just saying,
I don't
we ain't gonna rush Nussmeier out there. I'm gonna tell you that.
No. He ain't getting first call.
No,
But
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think you're wrong in this. I just
think what I'm saying
no,
is
I don't think you're wrong in this. I just
Other
think
way.
hello.
I think
That's
the
why you
hurt
come
of this
so
one is a
short.
little more. I think the injury severity in this one's a little more than it was in these others.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. And that I guess for me kind of makes me go, I don't know about this
Well,
one.
I'll
Makes
say
me
this
feel good
out
about
loud.
it.
If we want any chance for us to win the football game,
You gotta play.
we gonna put
You gotta play.
Nussmeier's not
He's
gonna.
gotta play.
I cannot imagine. I'm sorry, but I cannot imagine a situation where Nussmeier actually touched the field and we win.
Okay, so boom, that's
But what if he
perfect.
throws for 350 and 3 tutties? Who? Nuss. What if he shocks the world?
What
If it was the fifth, we'd all be drunk right now.
Man,
too.
what
Just
if
remember that now. But now look, but that's
Would be a
great.
half
No,
gallon.
but listen, that's
Cool.
great that you brought that up now because if that's what we think about it, then you go ahead, y'all go ahead and give me your prediction of what happens in this game. Not so much the score, but how do you see this game going?
I think it's close. I think it gets close, and then you see the second half, Georgia kind of out physicals, especially on the offensive line, the defensive line, and they kind of pull away. They win by 10 to 14.
Last time I was here, I said Alabama beat us by 10 in our own stadium.
And you're an LSU.
Man,
alum.
I don't see any way we win the game. I don't. I think it's 10 plus. They win.
What do you got?
I'm going to say, and this is what I've kind of been after reading the tea leaves, like I have been reading with what happened on Monday with the walking boot. You saw his ankle taped up against Texas A&M. He was still able to play, and he's been able to avoid injury all year.
Yeah.
While still taking shots. I think he gets first call. He will be the starter, but Brian Kelly will evaluate what he's able to do and not able to do on the football field and make his decision thusly. There's a good shot you see Garrett Nussmeier in my mind, just because of how this whole thing is played out. Where if he's not 100% and he's not able to use his legs, go to the guy that you feel like might be a little bit of a better thrower.
I'm telling you that they'll have to drag him off the field before they put.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get. I don't think you'll see him replaced in between drives or without him being actually hurt again. Yeah, I don't think that will happen. I really don't.
I think they're going to try to do the quarterback zone read, do all of that stuff, because when you watch either Georgia against Florida
with Jaden Daniel,
yeah, that's what I think is going to be the test case. If he's not able to do that efficiently, if it looks bad, if he's kind of gimping around and getting up and doesn't look good, and then you have to drop back and pass.
I don't think it's going to happen that way at all.
All right, so if they lose by,
respectfully disagree, just in the sense of, I think if he's on the field, unless he is re-injured on the field, he's going to play. And it doesn't matter if it's gimpy. It doesn't matter if it's
Walker Howard season.
Passing.
Yeah, I think about like the Florida State game. I mean, I sat there watching the game thinking, man, are we going to try somebody else at quarterback at some point?
That's what I'm saying.
And that was before he had any
anything
leeway to
anything in this place.
Now it's his team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like we're gonna have to drag him off the field.
That's what I'm saying.
Now the question is, if we lose by 17, 20, like does it really diminish any of the season that they've had so far? My answer is no.
Does it?
No.
Now look. Now listen.
No.
Now listen. Does it diminish it yet? No. But
you go lose the
with
bowl
that
game.
being your fourth loss.
Yeah.
You're second in a row. You go ahead and lose a third in a row and a fifth on the season. It diminishes a lot of what you've done.
Yeah, but they'll win in the bowl game. I don't care who they play, they'll win. Brian Kelly's a good coach. They've got a good enough team. I think this will be a tough one for them to win, but they'll regroup for the bowl game.
I agree.
So I think,
agree.
Yeah, sure.
Give us Tulane.
In my mind, that'd be great.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
It was at one point. I don't think it is anymore.
Why not?
I think they could play them in the Cotton Bowl, but I don't think they're in the SEC slot anymore to get the Cotton Bowl because Tennessee jumped them.
Who, LSU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we've dropped that far?
You lost to a 4-win team.
I don't think that
So they're
doesn't
going to
matter.
put Tennessee with a
Lloyd,
second string quarterback?
Please don't fill into the narrative that they're going to try to create with this thing. It doesn't matter who we lost to.
What did he say? We lost to
We lost to a 4-win team. Stop.
No.
Don't do that.
The only reason I say that is because the committee's not paying attention to.
No, they are. They just have a bigger agenda. They have,
So
they
to
have
the
a different
committee this
agenda.
week?
I don't think
They're paying attention to it. They just have a different agenda. That's all.
I don't think.
How do we know what the committee's paying attention to? Did you talk to him?
No. I'm saying I'm talking about what they're not paying attention to. I don't think that they realized that A&M was like a live dog.
No, I
in
think
this
they
scenario.
did. I think they do. I just think they have a different agenda that they're trying to push.
What agenda is that?
The Ohio State agenda.
Well, we got Penn State sitting at number 8 right now.
with no ranked wins.
Penn State's at number 8?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the one not paying attention.
Florida State's ranked in front of LSU right now with the same record.
Well, they beat them.
They
did beat us.
win.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, they beat them.
I'm okay with that one. Penn State,
Yeah, but where they
how many
are,
losses
yeah,
did
okay.
Penn State?
Okay, my point is
2 losses?
yeah, and they
I
got
think-
boat raced in both.
See,
of them.
see, I think the committee is putting an emphasis on who you lost to over who you beat. Because like you look at Alabama's losses, they're better than Tennessee's losses, and that's why they're ahead of them, even though Tennessee beat them head to head.
So like, and the same thing for me is the Tennessee and Alabama thing for me is it's kind of funny because it's like I understand Tennessee's body of work, I understand what they've done, but with them losing when they've lost to the teams that they've lost to, and then losing, I think we can all pretty much say
The Heisman favorite?
very large reason as to why they were where they were, losing that guy. How are you still ranking them as high as you are? There's no way you're telling me you still have the same belief in what they're going to do. When it's a ranking system, it's different when it's, hey, you're in and you get to go prove yourself, but when we're ranking teams off of opinion, that's tough for me to sit here and say, yeah, I still think that they're this team.
Yeah.
If I take Bryce Young off Alabama right now, you're going to be like, I know they got guys there, but I'm not sure they're that team.
You lost your engine. It's the same thing. It's the same conversation we're having about Jaden Daniels right now. If he's not able to go, then you really don't feel like you have a puncher's chance against Georgia.
Right.
And like I was saying, when Florida played against Georgia, they scored the second most points of anybody all year against Georgia, and it was 20. Like, that is what they did to score was Anthony Richardson doing the zone reads, and they had a lot of eyeballs on the quarterback because they know how lethal of a weapon he is. If Jaden Daniels is ineffective in his ability to run the ball because he's hurt, or if he gets gimped, where he gets up and look, he obviously isn't comfortable being spatted or like having his ankle taped because he'd had both of them done. But if he looks bad,
really
you
looking
have
into
to
that,
make
huh?
a change at some point. There's a reason he's getting reps. That's all I'm saying.
Who?
Nussmeier. Like,
Well,
there's a
I mean,
reason he's
yeah,
out there on the SEC
no,
championship.
Time out. You're 100% correct, right? That's why I keep saying I think the injury is a little more significant than what we think it is.
For sure.
But I don't think he's coming out of the game.
They got to drag him out.
He is going to have to be re-injured and hurt from
He's
the come
not
out of the
gonna
game.
come out because
he's not
he's
coming
quote-unquote
out.
ineffective.
It's just not going to do that. That's not going to happen that way. I promise you it's not going to happen that way.
He's not effective because
It ain't
he can't
happening
run
that
around.
way.
He's got to be hurt.
If that's the case, why is he not out of game one? Like McGhee brought up.
Let me ask you. Like Bryce Young's playing for Alabama, right? He's never coming out from ineffectiveness. Why?
No, what I'm saying is if the injury prevents him from being able to play his game, you have to protect the player at some point. You've seen Brian Kelly.
That's done before the game, whether you're on it or whether you're off
I
the
think
field.
he wants to give him a go because he respects Jane Daniels
No.
enough
Like,
to give him a shot.
okay, well, I'm just explaining to you how these things go.
Yeah,
Like,
and I want your opinion because I've never.
getting hit. Like, listen, getting
Best
Never been
hit.
there.
Best thing you said.
Listen,
there,
getting hit is different, right?
been
Like,
there either.
if you get hit, you survive a hit, great. But you're still expected when you go through these practices and you go through these team periods and stuff like that. That's all still at full speed, minus the tackling. So that's your test right now if this ankle's going to hold up or not. Now, if I get hit and something happens, that's called getting re-injured. If I get hit and I re-injured and it's worse, then he comes out, which is exactly what I'm saying. But if he starts, he ain't coming out because they're ineffective. He's going to come out because there's a re-injuring and he can't play on it anymore.
To Lloyd's point, he's saying like, man, if he can't do their zone read, well then they won't do their zone read.
They just won't do some
Yeah,
reads.
well-
It won't be part of the game.
Yeah, there's other plays.
Yeah, it's just how it's going to have to go. But
And they're
it's
not going to say,
happen that
oh, I
way.
think Nussmeier can run these other plays better than Jay Daniels.
It's not going to happen that way.
No, sir.
I think it's Walker time.
Yeah.
Let's do a Tua
That'd be
Jalen Hurts move.
That'd be another
Put
story.
Walker in there.
That's
How
another
about
story.
that story? That would be.
That's another story.
That'd be crazy.
You don't
I
want
think
Dean Walker Howard
I
to the
think
Dogs.
personally, and I keep
And I don't
saying
think
this.
you want to open that
No,
anyway.
I don't want to
That should
open that. I
definitely
keep
not be
saying
his
this.
first snap in
I
college
really.
football.
Here's my thing. Truthfully, I really don't like bringing up Walker Howard right now. Twofold. Obviously, there's the Jaden Daniels elephant in the room, right? And secondly, for him, for all the hype around him, for what he's supposed to be, I really would like to see that guy get on the field when he's ready, not just push him out there.
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
Don't
that's
throw
a
him against
and
joke.
hope he's the
Brian
guy.
Kelly's
Yeah.
not thinking about that at all.
That's so for me. Like I hate when that name keeps coming up right now because I
saying
feel
it's
like
sarcastic.
it's not there yet for him.
I really was. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
sarcastic.
he's
Chuck's like, hey,
sarcastic.
don't say it. You
Yeah,
hate me,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
No, I don't hate you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No,
you
no.
definitely
Yeah.
don't throw him against Georgia for his first significant
No.
snaps of college football.
No, that's
Talk about piss down your leg. Like, I don't think anybody would be ready for that. That defense has.
That's not how you draw it up. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
When he pictured his first start or first playing time, wasn't that?
No.
That ain't
It
what
was,
he's
it
done.
was his first playing time that he already got. Whatever he was running
That ain't
around
what you
against, whatever non-conference
So talk to
team.
me about
It
the
was Southern.
playoffs, Lloyd. So,
Southern.
TCU loses
So
the.
where we have this thing right now, it's talk to me. What's the top five?
Yeah.
It's
That's what I wanna go with.
Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC, and
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
So you got to
So
play.
TCU loses.
Depends on how I think.
Okay.
I think,
I
if
think
they,
they're still
if they
in
get
if it's-
blown out.
I think it's still in if
Well,
it's
they will
a
never get blown out.
if it's a if
Who they
it, well, no.
Kansas
Not,
State.
not in-game score, just how it looks. Like I think the sexy test is up for them this week, no matter how the game goes.
So tight game. Kansas State
Can't,
runs the kicking team
don't
on.
get down by 18-20, and then all of a sudden bring it back to an 8-point game, and then you lose like that. That might not work for them. That's just me. Depending on what else goes on, I don't think it'll work for them that way. But I think
Kansas
if
State
it's
loses.
That's how TCU has played all year.
they have,
They got to run the kicking
but
team on.
but what have they done all year by doing it that way?
They won.
Win.
Okay, my point is don't lose that way.
But
I
if
don't
they
think-
run,
I don't
but if
think
they
it'll
run the
work for 'em.
kicking team on at the end, but they came back from 18, they kick it, the guy misses it finally, they're out.
No, not if you bring it back like that. I don't
Okay,
think.
that's what
yeah,
I'm
I think that's a little different.
Oh, I think they're begging to get TCU out.
Wow.
I think.
Ohio State in there.
Yeah, they want the
They
blue
want Ohio
blood.
State
I think if that Ohio State Michigan game would have not gotten out of hand there at the end, we've got a better argument for that.
What did
But,
I?
like, Michigan handled
but
them
it wasn't.
on the road.
But it wasn't out of hand at the end. What did I text you like 2 minutes into the second
Oh,
half?
they dominated them the whole game. I agree, but you could like.
The score didn't say it, but when you watch the game, you're like, bro, they.
Oh, if you watch that,
Yeah, like if you
entire
if you
football
knew
game,
anything about Michigan and you watched them play it all this year, you'd be like, oh, it's running back eccentric. Like
I mean,
that's
you-
all they do. That's all they
weren't
got.
you surprised the way they handled them like that?
I was.
I mean, that
100%
was
I
incredible.
was, especially being on the road and doing it.
Yeah, that was incredible.
So for me,
Makes me wonder how really good they are because that's.
yeah, no, I agree. That's for me. Like when I see a team lose like that 2 weeks ahead of basically the playoff decision being made against your rival, like you have to be up for that game at home.
Not only against a rival, they're at home. Ryan Day has said all year about how they're so upset that they lost last year, and everything was kind of a get back to. It's like we're not doing anything until we get back to this point. Like all the chips, he was saying stuff that coaches
Right.
will never say.
Right.
And they got boat raced.
Right. And then you get boat raced in that. For me, it's
Like they didn't get caught off guard. They were in it.
yeah.
Bro.
For me, you're out on that. Like, and I guess I talk about that, and I think like I said before, I look at Ohio State and I'm like, look, I get it. You know, you beat Penn State, whoever that's supposed to be this year because they haven't
Number
done
8
shit.
overall.
Yeah, they haven't done anything. But you beat Penn State, whatever, and then you lose that game and you've been undefeated up until that point, and you stay at number 5. And I look at the other team that's right behind you, and I'm like, man, you're only as good as the schedule that they give you, right? So, like, you can only beat the teams you beat, right? Like, they don't really get to choose the conference schedule they had. But if I told you, you sitting here, you're looking at a 3-point loss against a crazy hot Tennessee team on the road. You're looking at a 1-point overtime loss at night in Death Valley against another team, and then that's what's got you behind a team that just got boat
Just
raced
now?
at home.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
Antonio Brown's out of this house.
No, even better. Somebody is leaving their house, so I'll let you do it because you're the one that just found it.
Denver Harris is officially in the transfer portal.
Who's that?
The 5-star corner from Texas A&M, whose dad played basketball at LSU.
His stepdad is Tack Miner, who played point guard at LSU.
I've watched plenty of Tack Minor games growing up.
That's the corner that LSU desperately needs because they're going to lose JBC,
Can we get him to Atlanta?
Garner.
They will.
For tomorrow?
Can we get it December 5th? Oh,
How early?
just a day short.
How early
3
does the
days
portal
short.
open and close?
It opens on the 5th.
playing on the
And,
road.
yeah, what's the eligibility? But that is massive news if you're an LSU fan because his recruitment. Jordy told this story because he's roommates with Tack Miner, and he felt like that he
Who
could
was
shoot.
roommates with him?
Jordy.
Was roommates with
Tack Miner. He worked for the
What?
He worked for the basketball team.
No, but how was he roommates with
Wow, I
Tack
didn't know that was a
Minor?
thing.
Like what?
Everybody
No
needs a runner.
disrespect, but I didn't know that was a
I know,
thing.
was John Brady like, hey man, go keep like make sure Tack doesn't.
No disrespect, but I didn't know that was a thing.
Man, no disrespect, but that is breaking news.
Oh, Haynes King's in the portal too. It's an A&M Exodus.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, he had the throw motion.
good.
That was the picture.
We don't want him, I promise.
So
Wait,
have to
are
be
we
the-
done with the Tack Minor in
no,
Detroit?
No.
We should definitely be early favorites for Denver
I'd say
Harris.
we're got to be in the top 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Probably not 3.
Probably
Maybe
not
not
two.
two.
Probably not
Probably
two.
not two.
Tack named that
Maybe
man.
not 2.
Tack named that man Denver.
That's one of the two names that.
Yeah. He's a stud.
That's on his birth
Any
certificate.
chance he was conceived in.
And Denver, 100%. That's what the Beckhams did. He's
I
got
mean, where else could it have been, huh?
No.
Didn't happen in Jennings.
ain't Baton Rouge.
But that's one of the two names that LSU fans are keeping an eye on towards when A&M started went
Denver.
downhill. Him and Jacoby Matthews. Matthews has not entered the portal yet.
Who's that? The safety?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
missed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see
do
what he
remember that
does on December 5th.
We will see. I think they probably would have been. I don't know if they'll announce together, but this
So,
is
You
incredible.
guys are up on it a little bit more. Like, so what kind of season did Denver Harris have? Like, was he
Denver-
playing? He
Denver-
played a lot for them.
He
like,
played really
so-
good and then he got in trouble.
He was a midseason freshman All-American
That's the
at A&M, yeah. But then it would have been a full All-American, but he got
full All-American.
He got suspended
Full season.
with about 20 other guys for they were smoking a little weed in the locker room.
in the locker room.
Yeah, it was just
It
an
had to be a big
accident.
ass blunt then.
Yeah, oh, no,
So
they,
that's
had,
what-
they had the pins. They all
So
had
that's
the
why
big
Jordy
pins.
was watching over Tack. He
Yeah.
was probably smoking.
Oh, you think some
No
fun
offense, Tack, but
But
anyway.
Jordy having that relationship, he told the story of Denver Harris's recruitment when Jimbo first went over there before they had gone all in to NIL. And he said he walked into Tack Miner's house and saw LSU shit everywhere. He goes, I don't know why the fuck I'm here. Like, this kid's clearly going to LSU. Like, Tack ain't going to let him. I didn't even know. He didn't know that was his stepdad. And so he walks, he's like, what the hell's going on? He's like, Tack Miner, nice to meet you. Oh, shit. And he was like, I don't know why I'm here. Fast forward to signing day.
Brought that bag.
And so now it obviously didn't pay off. Denver Harris also, yep. Okay.
I'll leave this here, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it actually did pay off. And no, it's paid off.
There were some dividends.
Yeah.
But
okay. It happens.
knowing that story, and Jordy told it on there, so I feel fine sharing it. It is that's what makes you feel like LSU is probably in the lead for Denver Harris, and this is one of the best case scenarios for LSU. He just has to be able to. Brian Kelly is.
Think we can afford him? Or?
I think so. But this is a.
You think Clemson can afford him?
Gordon.
No.
Clemson affording him. Is it now that we talk about that? Or
No. Let me finish.
We'll bring it up later.
Okay. Sorry.
But because of Denver Harris's kind of mercurial past, where he kind of gotten in trouble, he was the guy that was driving through the parking lot at like 85 miles an hour.
The parking
I don't know if
garage.
you saw that. Yeah, the parking
After he
garage.
smoked the weed, or this?
Yeah,
is
probably
another
high,
incident?
but he went on IG Live and did
What are
it.
you driving to get up to
This
85
is-
in a garage?
This is another
Judge.
incident. Hey, that's a nice car to have that much
How do you
control.
think? I
to
mean,
it.
he had the money to pay for it.
That's definitely not a Honda Civic.
What kind of car was it?
I don't know. I think it's one of those good
Nice
ones.
car.
One of those fast ones, Coach.
One of those flashy.
So he had two
flexing.
incidents. So
Right. Which brings me to my point of Brian Kelly really doesn't do that. He brings in program guys, not program killers. You saw him get rid of Eli Ricks like immediately. You saw the kind of back and forth with Kayshawn. He wants guys that are bought in. He has to make sure if they're going to bring in a Denver Harris that you have to fully vet him, I would imagine, or make him go live with Tack.
Well,
what?
my take on
Or Jordy.
my take on that is you're not wrong about that, but I would also believe that if LSU was on Denver's mind, I would imagine some of that process has probably started already.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name went into the portal
Oh yeah.
because that's what today's recruiting landscape is. Like you never stop. You have to re-recruit your own roster.
Yeah,
throughout
somebody
the
had dinner with
year.
Tack
So I think that's
last
already-
weekend when they were in
Right.
College Station.
Yeah, I think that's kind of already started if that's the case.
He brings in the program guy. What? You said that Brian Kelly brings in program guys. What does that mean?
Like
They don't get
guys
in
that
trouble.
no, it's not only
Bought
that.
in.
It's guys that are bought into what he's trying to build.
You
a
mean like when he
culture
was at Notre Dame, or like you mean
at LSU?
6 days he's been in LSU?
6
I mean,
days.
like the 20-something transfers he brought in.
yeah.
Program guys, got it.
Why does that surprise you?
I'm just like I don't think we know yet. Like he's right. Like yeah, we easy to say that at Notre Dame because you can only recruit a certain type of kid at Notre Dame.
No,
Because of
I
standards.
wasn't referencing Notre Dame at all. There's obviously like
Yeah.
limitations that avoid them from recruiting guys that probably you would rather have it. There's a reason Brian Kelly left Notre Dame.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. I
Yeah,
think that,
but
like,
I was talking about what
I think Brian Kelly's like, yeah, this sounds great. We're at a place where I can go recruit this guy, and yeah, he's got some problems, but who doesn't? And we can.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he's not a take. I think it is we have to make sure we're right on this because I don't want to bring in anybody that's going to mess up the culture that I worked so hard to build. Like he was very particular in the portal, and then he said it himself. Whatever he said, you don't want to build your entire team through the portal, but you can top it off with guys in the portal. This would be a top-off guy to where you can have if you can add a 5-star corner where LSU is going to lack
Yeah, the best thing for
severe
culture.
depth.
Best thing for culture is winning, bro. We need that guy on the corner.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, like that's
Only
Right, but
because
you don't want a guy that's like
Yeah, I get-
that doesn't
I'll
play
say
by
this.
with the rules. Like
I'll say this. Only
Denver ain't
because
the only guy smoking some weed, bro. Let's tell you that.
No,
and he can attest to this because he was a part of this as well. I say this in the sense of only because I've kind of been through a similar situation, right? New coach shows up. He has to implement his system. He has to bring guys he thinks could fit right now, right? But when it comes to continuing to recruit, continuing to obviously nowadays having to go into the portal, when you come to a place like this, it is about winning. And there's only so much you can do with just culture, right? I'm sure he created a great culture at Notre Dame. There was a ceiling there.
Yeah.
So until you go get the Jimmies and the Joes, the real Jimmies and the Joes, you won't, I guess, get over that height that you
I think to
previously got
Lloyd's
to.
point too, though, like yes, he has done a good job of getting the guys around. Now that will allow him to bring in this guy no
Right.
matter what's going
Exactly.
on. So it's like thinking back to our team. It's like so we had this big first baseman that hit a lot of home runs, Mr. Matt Clark. I don't think anyone that was on our team at the beginning would go like, man, Matt's really a culture fit. Like he's really listening to the coach.
And he was a
he's
good dude,
really
too.
huh?
And he was a good dude, too.
He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
was great dude.
Yeah,
Is a great dude.
I wanted you,
But it just
people
was
listening
like-
to this might not understand like what we're saying by that.
Yeah, no, he wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like kind of butting heads with the coach, just not like everybody
own
else on the
program-ish a
team.
little bit, yeah.
He's doing his own thing
Yeah.
and cared about him.
Yeah.
A lot of other guys did it, but he was very vocal in the way he
Openish.
showed that.
Yeah, yeah.
In the way he showed that. But it didn't matter because we had the guys around him. I think Brian Kelly is in that situation where he's done a good job, to your point, building the
Because what you need is a strong staple, a strong core of it, and then now you can filter in these guys.
Now we got to get Denver. We got to get him playing quarterback.
I agree with you to an extent. That's why I said like the top off, where it's like, all right, if the culture is strong enough, but it feels like if this was year 3 or year 4, it's not a problem. But year 2, you don't want to mess up what you worked so hard to build, because the way that he was able to flip the team from having 35 guys on the roster.
I just don't think one dude's going to be
it's a slippery slope. In
No,
my mind.
you're not wrong, but you got to also remember too. We've never talked about this part of it, but I do think this part of it is something that's real when it comes to here. We can all agree with they overperformed this year. We all know what pressure cooker this place is. You can't win 8 games next year.
And if you really want to look at it
Like
closely,
you just kind of can't. I'm not saying he's going to get fired.
8?
Huh?
How many did they win this year already? 9?
They're at 9 right now.
Yeah, you can't win 8 next year.
So and that's my point. So my point is I'm not saying he's going to get fired next year, but you can't win now. You can't win 8.
You don't want to backslide.
So my point to it is you have to start. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, oh, if we got to year 3, no, like it has to start now.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are every every other day talking about football, and you guys know.
Every day.
I think you would have a hard time. I think you would have most normal LSU fans have a hard time naming the secondary for LSU right now.
Right.
Man, I watch a lot of football. I like the Tigers. Converse is one of the guys.
It's been a revolving door.
The
They've done a
guy
good job
from
with it.
Arks. I can't name a lot of the guys.
Yeah.
We've been probably as less talented at a position like that than we've been in a long time. We got to go get guys like this. Like those are the guys that win at LSU.
It's not only that; all those guys are graduating. Like all those guys are going to leave. Like
Which is more reason why
Jay
you.
Ward's out.
But they're not.
Converse
They're not
out,
who you
Gardner
expect.
out.
I'm saying like Patrick Peterson
Brooks
ain't
might-
out there. Like you know what I mean? Like
So to your point,
Denver needs to
and
be out there.
His point
Yeah,
as
I
well.
agree. I want him
when
more than anybody.
Well, my point is when you're saying all these guys are out, and this guy's a huge name. I don't care what kind of fit you are. 'Cause
We're gonna figure the fit
We're
out.
gonna figure out how to make you a culture guy.
We're gonna figure it out.
because we need that kind of talent.
my family, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, my only point to that, the reason I brought it up was they could have had Eli Ricks as well, but they showed him the door more than he
Did they
wanted
show him the door? Or did
yeah,
he go? I
yeah.
don't know that. That's maybe
Yes.
we'll talk about that in another show, but
But
I don't know that.
think
as much.
I think
That's what
his
happened?
And McLovin.
yeah I think the rap on him was about as bad as it gets too,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was well known. Like not even with Brian Kelly's staff, but the staff before.
And it's probably a case of I'm trying to make a statement to say,
Right.
look, I don't put up with the bullshit anymore like Ed O did. This isn't a fraternity. This
Yeah.
is a fucking football program we're
But-
trying to run
and
here.
and hopefully Brian Kelly can build a program that's like a program like Alabama where Ricks goes over there and you know what if he's going to act like that or continue to act like that, he gets lost in the shuffle, which he did. So maybe old
Until
Denver
they needed him.
Yeah, so they really needed him.
Yeah, well then, but maybe
Nick
he
Saban
got
loves to
better.
win.
Maybe he got better, but maybe that caused him to get better because they did lose him in the shuffle. So Denver comes, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Man, I trust Brian Kelly's gonna figure that out.
Yeah.
we got to put him.
but you need him on that roster.
100%.
100.
And you said you didn't
No
know.
matter the fit, all that.
Yeah, I agree. But
We'll either make it fit or you won't play
Yeah,
it.
but
I think that's where it is when it
That's
comes
what
to
I'm
guys
trying
like
to
that.
say. Yeah.
because you can't enter the portal again. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to wait out. You
Yeah.
can only do it once unless you ask for like a hardship.
Man, I
That's
can't
the
wait to
one
see
cap.
Tackman on the sideline.
Maybe you already have.
Oh wow. Yeah, there you say.
So back to back to
Him and
the
Jordy have a
college
picture
football
together.
playoffs right now.
Oh, Rimmy's.
What do y'all got on this game tonight?
USC takes
Yeah,
it.
USC big.
I'm gonna go the other
Where's
way.
the game at?
I don't know.
No, Utah game. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. I actually watched 90% of that Utah USC game. Did anybody else watch that game when they
watched
played?
the end of
LSU?
I saw plays here and there. I didn't
So
watch
the
all of it.
game was in Utah, and I'm gonna mess this
Provo?
up a little bit. No, not.
Provo?
Is that what it's at?
No, that's for BYU.
Yeah,
That's
what I
that
thought.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. I'm not gonna mess this up, but there was something going on like the week or two before with Utah, and in the fourth quarter, like the game was tight. Like USC had done a good job, kind of getting the hand on the game, and then the game got a little tighter in the third quarter, and they did some type of like song, some type of
in the stadium.
in the stadium.
Yeah.
right before the fourth quarter with like this big emotional thing that was going on at the stadium, and then Utah just like handled them on the back end. If you're watching a game, you were kind of like, oh my God, this was almost serendipity. Like this, USC was not going to win that game going into that fourth quarter. I say all that to say, man, I don't think Utah's going to be able to beat them for the second time, not at home, not having all of those factors. Just because of that, I think USC, they win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Really. I think they win.
Spread's 2.5.
They win by 2 touchdowns.
I think they win easily, and I think
you're 0 for right now, just on your picks. I'm just gonna let you know.
0 for strong.
0 for 1.
Oh well.
I think they win easily.
On the show.
I think Caleb Williams has a pseudo Heisman moment. I think
he goes to Heisman. He wins the Heisman.
I think that's kind of what happened.
He wins the Heisman tonight.
I think they finally introduced West Coast back into the playoffs. And
and it's good. I'm rooting for it.
No, it's good. It's good for the sport.
It's good when USC's
good for the sport. Yeah.
Somebody said that this week. Michigan, USC's good. Ohio State, like that's good for college football, man. Especially going into a 12-team playoff.
It's good for the
sport.
Like
we don't want to go into the playoff having 3 or 4 teams that always win. It's like, all right, well, man, maybe some other teams can do it.
We have a hot take from the crowd.
Yeah, what we got?
What's the take?
USC is Georgia's only competition.
Yeah.
Only competition.
I don't disagree with that.
In the current field.
Like they don't want to see them.
I just think USC. I think USC. USC is going to score. It reminds me of what was that game when it was Oklahoma? Was it Georgia?
Yeah, Oklahoma, Georgia.
In the Rose Bowl or something.
Overtime.
Like that's the type of game. That's the game that USC plays with Georgia. Where USC can never stop Georgia.
I like that take.
I like that a lot.
If the field stays where it is right now, that's probably the only real game or real test, I guess, you got to Georgia. I think
then you watch Michigan TCU and you're like, does everybody really want to watch that?
Hey, here's the question though: if that ends up being the game,
I don't want to watch.
If that ends up being the game, does it end up being a blowout in Michigan's favor? Like, do you think TCU even stays in that game?
No.
That's why they don't want a minute.
You think Bama competes in Michigan?
Hey, listen, wait.
Yes, it's a great football game.
I posed this. I said this. Yes, I said this the other day.
Great game.
I said this Wednesday. I go. And it's not even, you just got to understand, I was like, we sit here and we say, hey, they're out. But if I told you right now, the teams that were in the top 10, if I had you to pick outside of the teams that are in the top 4, if I had you put all the money you could on one of these, so we're talking 5 through 10, one of these teams that you would pick to win a playoff game if they were in that spot, who are you putting the money on?
Bama.
6 to 10, Alabama.
Right? But my point of it is like that's the team where everybody's like, no, they're not in. They shouldn't be in. They're out. And I'm like,
I think it's because they don't want
the 2
them.
losses. I get it, but I
it's
get
the
it.
time when they could be out.
No. Listen, there's no guideline of what gets you in. You're voted in.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's my point. Is we're sitting here saying, nah, they're out, whatever. But we all would pretty much say that they would be the team that would go in and probably win a game.
This is the year that you would love to see like a Michigan-Alabama playoff game, like. Because either Michigan's really kind of finally getting there, and that's good for college football. Now more kids will go to Michigan. Like, we'll take some of the power. I don't think it's great that all the power is in SEC, especially if you're going to go to a 12-team playoff, man. We need some of these other teams to actually fool us to think they can win.
Well, that's what Greg Sankey said. He said if we do a 12-team playoff, we could probably get 8 SEC teams in.
Bro, like that's going to be a scary thing if they're winning.
No, I think they're opening a can of worms that I think is going to still play out a lot unless this NIL thing really disperses the talent because of the money. Unless, I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, unless this NIL thing disperses the talent to where, teams pop up everywhere, they're going to run into, we're going to get to the quarters and there's 4 SEC teams still in it.
Dude,
we're going to get to the semis and there's 3 SEC teams still in it.
They will probably manipulate the bracket enough to try to keep this from happening.
Or have them eliminating each other early.
Right. But there's years that for sure I think about a year like this year, and if the bracket laid out the right way, you can't convince me that the 4 top teams aren't with a healthy quarterback.
Right.
Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU. Like, that could be the semifinals in a year, and you're sitting there just watching the SEC in the semifinals. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
I don't want that.
I don't even care. It doesn't bother me. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I would rather that Michigan and USC are good, and we get a Alabama, LSU, Michigan, USC playoff. Like those are like our semifinals.
Right.
Those are great games. Like
Yeah,
that's good.
good
Clemson,
matchups.
let's get Clemson in there. Tulane could make it.
I was having a discussion about Tulane. Do y'all think in week 1, if LSU opened with Tulane, that Tulane would have won?
No.
I don't think so either. I think they would have won. I think LSU would have won by 10 instead of 30.
I don't think so.
I think LSU blows their doors off.
Tell me why you said that, because I think that's a really good thought. But like, why are you bringing that up?
Who's gonna block Harold Perkins and B.J. Ojulari?
Harold wouldn't have played. He didn't play in the first game.
In the first game, yeah,
but
that's right now.
Why are you saying that?
I had a conversation about it last night, and he brought up Tulane.
Are you saying that because like people are looking at Florida State and Tulane in the same?
I'm bringing it up because people have talked about it for the bowl game, and I
Are
thought
people saying Tulane's as good as LSU?
yes. Like I've had some people tell me
That's aggressive.
about that.
That's
No,
aggressive.
Aggressive.
That's
A lot of people have played that game until
That's
they
aggressive.
played the game.
Not a chance.
That's a real
did
aggressive.
I think that would be. How cool would it be though if we scheduled them for like a season opener in the Superdome? I think that'd be cool.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you, man. You look back on that Florida
We won
State
by
game.
28, but it'd be really cool.
I still wonder how that happened. Like, I just was very shocked that we were that.
I can tell you how
we
it
were.
happened.
We weren't well coached, and
I'll-
the coach
dude,
is
I'll tell
obviously
you-
good.
I'll tell you how it happened.
Tell me how it happened. I need to understand it.
They played a week 0 game. That matters more than you think.
That matters.
They were obviously, as you watch the season unfold,
We needed a dress rehearsal.
they were much better than what people ever thought they would be. This year, and we didn't have the dress rehearsal. We played a good team after they've already had a real dress rehearsal, and it caught up to you.
And we still could have won the game. Should have won the game.
Should have won the game. And should have won the
We
game.
won that game in
Yeah.
overtime, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I think that was the perfect storm of what you didn't need in a year of new coach, a million new players, new situation, new voices all over the place, and now you're playing a quote-unquote pretty good team to start the year.
Converse.
And they've already played a game. That's kind of tough to go into that. That's what I think. Lloyd,
Ryan Poling, what?
so as we're we're kind of on this LSU
Disaster.
thing for a while. Talk to me about this article that the Athletic put out about Harold Perkins. That's really good.
So what happened? What had happened was, answer me this: what do you know about Harold Perkins right now?
Riddle me the
Without reading the article.
He
He's
wears number
from
40,
New
and he's
Orleans,
pretty
around
bendy.
2 years old, moved to Houston area, Texas, grew up there, and now he's back.
We
kicking
outpaid
ass.
Texas A&M for him.
Probably.
He committed to A&M and then said, fuck you, and came here.
Probably.
First time Brian Kelly knew he had to drop the bag. That was not in the article. That's me talking. That was the first time Frank Wilson knocked on his door and said, "Bro, this
need
is
some
the guy.
money."
You got to get him."
Yeah.
But the story, it's because the reason I found it so interesting is that Harold Perkins has not been available to the media all year. I don't know if that's a new rule. Nick Saban does that with freshmen, but he was such a hot.
Pretty sure Les used to do it too.
I think he did too.
I don't think BK's let
I think
any
that's
freshman.
because he didn't want Ryan Perlew talking to anybody.
I think the only time we
No,
got
that was just the Ryan Perlew rule.
Yeah, don't.
I think-
Where is he?
Is this supposed to be here?
it's
Yeah,
just a prop. Yeah,
we're
so it's
hoping
not
it
on
gets-
the-
we're hoping
so
it
it's
gets
not
rained
the
on.
floor.
Sorry.
I'm not hoping it's rained
Anyway,
on.
so what was
but-
good about the article? Like, you just
But it was just, it felt like there was nothing that we knew about Harold Perkins aside from what he laid out. Like, we all knew the fact that Katrina happened, he moved to Houston, and then he commits to A&M. But it really, more of what it did was showed his personality as to who he is, because we don't know anything from him because we've never heard him talk.
Yeah, you don't hear
So what it did was lay out why he went to LSU as opposed to A&M, and not just dropping the bag way, but in a way where he was so connected to New Orleans for such, like, leaving for Katrina, and then whenever he left and went to Houston, he wanted to go back. Let me rewind. Even before that,
he didn't play against Florida State too. Maybe that was the reason.
that's
we
what
lost.
I'm saying.
Wow.
But
New
it
Orleans.
talks,
Like a
it talks
Tennessee.
about his growth and how mature he is, because his mom was working like 3 jobs. He had 3 older brothers, but he was the one in charge of like taking care of the house when he was like 5, 6 years old. So he would go buy the groceries. He would make the beds. He learned how to make a gumbo when he was 7. He would draw his mama a bath. Like,
Wait, he was making gumbo at 7?
He learned how to make a roof.
He still make one right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Lord,
But it's-
Lord, it sounds like you got a new title, dude. Like president of the Harold Perkins
oh my,
Fan Club.
dude, I'm all in. This is the first time I felt like this.
You're like
since
glowing talking about
Tyron Matthew and Ryan Perlew. Perlew disappointed me. Tyron did not. But it's in that same
Because
vein.
Perlew never played more than 2 plays at a time. So
He won you an SEC championship, though. Got you to a natty.
hey, Lloyd said that earlier this year. He said Ryan Perlew never played more than 2
No, that's
plays.
not what I said.
That is exactly what you said.
Okay, you tell me what you said then.
I said there was
not
never
true,
a
right?
situation
He was dead-ass serious about this.
other than Middle Tennessee State and the SEC Championship where you saw extended versions of Ryan Perlew. Yes, he came in packages, but he never was out there for multiple series in a row. That's
Series,
what I
he says
said.
now.
No, that's
You
what I
said plays. Now
Rewind
he's
the
saying
tape.
series.
That is not what you said.
That is
Plays and
exactly what
series
I
are
You
said.
said multiple plays in a row.
There you go.
Plays and series are two
I'm not
different
having
things.
this argument with you. I'm bringing up what you said.
Regardless.
You can switch it how you want. I'm just saying.
I'm on Harold Perkins.
Yeah, Harold stock going up.
So does he go in the portal after this year and see who's
I think
highest
he's here.
bidder?
I
Like,
think he's here.
No, well, that's the
how
thing.
about that thing? Like, that's going to be a real thing. Like, people
No, well, that's part of the article is he had the A&M bag and he had the offer and he and his mom talked like she's obviously refers to him as like that's my like youngest, the baby, whatever. He's like, Mom, I ain't no baby. Like going through recruiters, like I've been taking care of the house since I was 5. Like I know how to be an adult.
Making
I know
that
how to be
gumbo.
a man.
Hey, I'll say this too. Look, in all of what today's landscape is with NIL and basically free agency, right? The one thing that I truly do think is really, really, really good about NIL stuff right now is specifically situations like that. You get a kid like that can come here, and I don't know what he's got, but I do know that
Got some.
I'm not even going to speak on him or anyone specifically, but there is money being passed out and a lot of it, right? So with that being the case, with kids like that in those situations,
taking care of some families, man. That's big.
you just don't know, dude. He may not.
Well, I can-
just him. Any one of them may not make it to that draft year healthy, right? Well, what are those families supposed to do about those 2 or 3 years where he basically gave all he had and did it for free?
Well, and I can
I
rebut.
think it's great for those families in those situations.
I can rebut that from Harold Perkins' standpoint because Gordon McKernan came on Jordy's show and said he has 2 checks for Harold. They ain't picked up yet. He's like, he's not worried about the money. He just wants to go out and ball, which is crazy
which is
to
great.
me.
But I wasn't
Of
specific.
course, he's not worried about them checks. He already got the one when he came in. He's still living on that
I
one.
would have been picked up that
He's
check.
gonna get
I wasn't
that.
specifically talking about Harold. Though. I'm just saying in the situation of what today's landscape is.
So Harold did a good job of budgeting, man. That's all that is. He
Yeah.
made that money to
Well, he's
have
been an
man.
adult since he was 5.
Yeah, dude, he made that gumbo. He can budget.
Exactly.
But-
But
Well, I tell you what, the one thing I was not doing at 7 was making gumbo. I was eating shit.
But
No,
in the bigger part of the story was like obviously all of that, and then A&M pressured him in to try to be an early enrollee, early commit, and he was like, "This doesn't feel right." He's like, "I still have a feeling that I want to go home." He obviously committed to A&M, decommitted, and that was the reason why they tried to make him like. And he's like, "You don't force me into anything," and that's what the mom's like. I don't like the feel here. He's like, "Me either." He's like, "And I miss New Orleans," and he had his uncle that lives there, Uncle Al.
Uncle Al.
Big on.
Love Uncle Al.
Who's a policeman in New Orleans that escorted
Chad
them
Jones?
out.
Al Jones.
Yeah,
Chad Jones is dead.
Shout out to
Big
Big
Al.
Big
Big
Al.
Al.
Big Al.
Big Al. Yeah, boy.
Big Al.
But but like all of this culmination of all of this is just
What was that?
It was an inside joke.
that an
I
inside
can show you
joke?
all
I didn't know that one.
Hey, we just had our own inside joke. They had their own.
I can show you all the video. I sent it to him on Twitter.
That's a little culture gap right there, I
It's
think.
in the document.
Little
actually.
divide.
yeah.
It's a curtain call, so
Little
you'll see
culture
it.
gap. Heard that laugh? Man, that was good.
What are you talking
So you
about?
think I don't even know anymore. You think Clemson's gonna get any players out of the portal? with
No.
that
To
video?
wrap up on the Harold Perkins thing, we had Coach Baker on, who coached the linebackers last year, who was the lead like recruiter for Harold.
Yeah.
And he was telling you the kind
Coach
of this.
Baker.
Blake Baker.
Oh, from Tech. Came from Tech. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now he's
Where's
at
he
Missouri.
now? Missouri. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Anyway, so thought you'd be way better at this.
I can't let you finish. Go ahead. I'm just telling you.
That's what she said.
You got,
There he is. The doom.
you got 90 seconds. Hurry.
Oh, a countdown. I love a countdown.
3, 2,
Two.
1.
I'm gonna hold my water. Go ahead.
So it all comes down to what has been a big crux of mine, and I feel like all of LSU is that the way that Baker like kind of phrases it is like he's a Louisiana kid. Like these kids are just. He called him a Louisiana animal.
Yeah.
Like you've seen the sweatshirts or whatever, but he was really invested. Like nobody has to go through that and understands the struggles of how to do what Harold Perkins had to go through in some sense. And he was only in New Orleans for a short time, but that like kind of still called him back. And he's like, Louisiana kids, when they want to be back in Louisiana, you can tie this back to Denver Harris. Like whenever they feel like they want to be here, there's no other place like it. And it's kind of one of those things where it's a perfect storm, and then you get what seems to be a decade, a year guy that you get.
Right.
And there's no way but up. Now, Von Miller's training him in the offseason, and he trained with Antonio Cromartie when he was in high school. Like, this guy's put together.
So, if you haven't gotten a chance to go and read it, The Athletic is a great publication. You can go out, get on there and kind of, read about one of your own, a Louisiana kid.
Shout out Brody Miller.
Brody Miller's who wrote it.
Faux Trace.
Damn toes in the Coke bottle.
With the latest pedal? Listen, so we're going to address this because I think this is my look on this. This Antonio Brown thing I think it's
still ongoing.
It's so for me, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. Like every time I see something about him right now, I kind of cringe. I'm kind of tired of seeing it. I'm kind of tired of him kind of being the laughing stock of stuff, and there's no one in his life right now that's helping him out to kind of get this thing straight. Because I do think, and this may be it. I don't really know, but I do think the road that it's on, it's going to end, and I don't know what end means, but very badly. And you hate to see someone who had gotten to such a, I guess, what you got?
Do you think it's because nobody's helping him or because he won't listen?
That's what I think
it's
it
both.
is.
Because he leaked the message of Tom Brady, trying to reach out to him and
my point is, in the sense of when it comes to helping people like that, the help has to come from their.
You have to want the help.
They have to want the help.
No, the help has to come from their implied inner circle, right? Like people that are around him. Not
that he
you
will
can't,
trust
if
to
you're
get the
if
help.
you're feeling yourself, if you're surrounding yourself with yes men all day, then you're not gonna get any help.
But if somebody says something and it means something, then
There you go. Like if you got people that you trust, that you feel like you've been through whatever it is that matters to you, right? If you feel like you've been through those things and they're helping you, you'll listen. If those are the people that are telling you whatever you do, you can't do any wrong, it's going to be tough. There's no accountability.
But that was Tom Brady's role, and he
But
almost
was
had
it?
it.
I'm not, listen, everything he
They
did.
needed each other.
Everything he did to Tom was wrong. But do you know that he really respected Tom like that? Like,
No.
do you know that he really looked at him
I'm
like
talking
that?
about from Jack's perspective, where he invited him to his home and was like,
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no.
to get you
That's what I'm
straight.
trying to tell you.
And
Everything
Antonio
that
Brown
Tom
didn't
did.
quit.
That doesn't mean Antonio respected him enough to listen
No,
to his
I'm
Right,
saying he
exactly.
had one that wasn't a yes man. He
Yeah.
was like, look, this is me reaching out to you. I'm trying to give you
What
help.
you got?
Dabo?
Does anybody know why he's getting arrested?
Domestic
Domestic
abuse.
violence.
Yeah, that's domestic abuse situation.
Does anybody know the specifics of the domestic abuse?
Not really.
The girl does.
Well,
Enough for them to get.
I don't know, man. This is Fox Sports reporting this, and this was from the police. And this, enough to get what? The police out there, right? Man, I'm reading.
So it's a warrant for his arrest.
I'm reading this, and it says it's a warrant for arrest in relation to a domestic violence issue involving incident with the mother of his 4 children, okay?
Yeah, well, it's actually the quote is some of his children.
Okay, 4 of his children, that's right. Okay, so he's accused of throwing the victim's belongings into the street and threw a shoe at her head that struck her ponytail.
She got long hair, or she just got one of them like tight ponies where it was like the shoe
It does matter. That does matter.
That's it. Like, that's what he kicked her out of the
So
house
here's
and
my
threw a
thing.
shoe.
Well, here's my thing. If there's an actual
My point
warrant-
is, I'm not saying that we should be throwing shoes at people. Let's be careful.
know you're not.
But my point is,
They did it to George W. Fucking
my
dodged
point
that thing.
is, everybody did what you all did and what I did. Oh, domestic violence. And my thought went, man, he just beat this woman up, and they must be after him because he beat this woman up, and nobody actually looks into what happened. And so Antonio Brown might be sitting there thinking, man, why are these people at my house? Because I didn't even hit the woman with the shoe.
Yeah, but a rational person would say, take me in. I'm fine. I'm fine with going to jail. I'm going to hire a lawyer.
You're right.
And say,
Well, I'm not arguing that he's rational. Like, I
I think that's part of the problem is that his past.
I'm
leads
just
to
saying
the
he gets
present.
demonized by like so many things, and
Well,
it's
he's
like,
done so many things
I
wrong.
think you end up being a victim of
I'm
the.
not
of the-
taking up for
Well, I
Antonio
just think
Brown.
you end up being a victim of the circumstances that you.
I'm not taking up for Antonio Brown. I'm taking up for when situations happen.
Yeah.
People automatically go. People walking the street right now, like, man, Antonio Brown was beating up his old lady.
You're taking up for the narrative.
Here's the thing. This is
Right.
I guess this becomes like
Maybe.
a real life situation of
Today.
of how you would look at. Yeah, how many times have you seen Draymond Green be demonstrative on the basketball court.
Oh my God.
Well, you at this point you believe like everything he's saying is full of shit. Like, goddamn, here goes Draymond again, right?
And if you told me he was beating up somebody on the street, I'd be like, yeah. He's
okay.
okay.
So I think this situation ends up being like,
I hear
Antonio, Jesus, you're not like you stay in this.
The straw
how
that
we
broke
keep
the
getting in
camel's
these
back.
situations.
Yeah, I think some of that's. Yeah, how do you keep getting in these situations? Yes.
Right.
But it's just, I guess why I'm bringing that up is it's sad to me. It's like, all right, well, this is the one because he hit the girl in the ponytail. He's done 26 other things that are way worse than this. And now this is the one that's got him in a standoff with the police that might not end so well. Right. It's like, oh,
right. No, I agree.
Crazy.
I agree, but like I said, that's why I'm like, I hate watching it because I hate seeing someone get to where he had gotten in his career and in his life, and then now this is like literally all you. It's
not
a
about football
laughing
anymore.
situation.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's about football, but it's a laughing
But
situation.
he could have been a Hall of Fame football player,
But even if he said, "Hey, I don't want the Hall of Fame. I'm retired. I'm good. I'm gonna go off and I'm a Calvin Johnson this thing, and whatever. We'll see if I get there whenever that time comes." Okay, but it's a laughing situation every time his name comes up now, and it's just.
I know we must have talked about this, but he's got a massive, massive case of CTE.
I think
sure.
so too.
Like
I'm no doctor.
That's where I was going to go.
Doctor,
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I'm no doctor, but I think so too.
Vontez Burfict got him.
I think that was
where it
that
started.
may be the straw. I think that's where.
I'd be
at.
shocked if it doesn't come out later that he.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too. I'd also be shocked too if we don't find out that Kanye West may have a massive case of CTE as well.
From what the?
Shout out CP3.
I don't. Somebody's hitting him upside the head because things ain't going right.
Kanye.
Things are not going right in
Kim
his
Kardashian
mind.
bouncing
He
that
can't
thing.
get out of his own mind. He can't get out of his own way.
He can't breathe.
That's what I think. That's how you got his CT. That's enough.
Kim K did it.
Kim K did it.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm not sure if he did it or not, but boy, Chris Paul, boy, you in the pickle.
Oh.
Could you imagine? If
Don't
Chris
put
was
me in that pickle
could you
though,
imagine
man.
If Chris was out to dinner with the family,
And that just comes, hey,
and ping,
and it just comes on our.
We're at the Red Lobster, having a good dinner.
oh
Man. Well, I think he can at least go right or wrong. Man, Kanye's just crazy.
Yeah, you think so? You would think so?
You know how many times
Not sure that actually happened.
You
That
know how
way,
many
though.
times that excuse has not worked? Like, oh, don't believe my boy. He's on one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let me see your phone.
I will
Oh,
tell you
no.
this though. You know
Oh,
what?
she's detective
hey,
today, though.
You know what I enjoyed out of this? You know what I enjoy? Oh boy,
Detective.
Hey, that phone's been plugged in all day. That thing has been.
Who's
You know-
this? Who's this? Who's this?
You know what I've enjoyed out of this whole thing though? I don't know if y'all paid attention to it, but for about the last month or so, LeBron has been getting just whacked with stories about you lied about all these things, right?
I saw a couple things.
Oh,
Somebody said- I
my
told
God.
Somebody
It's
put
not
the
really
meme and they were
getting
like, I told
mainstream,
CP
though,
not
is
to
it?
do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, it
because
is.
Jalen Ramsey called him out.
Jalen Ramsey called him out on
the
that
TNF
on the
broadcast.
shop.
Yeah.
On the what broadcast?
So LeBron's what is it? It's not even a podcast. It's a show. It's the
It's
HBO
an
show.
Oh, the
HBO
HBO
Oh,
show.
the barbershop.
He had Jalen
The
Ramsey
shop.
on the
shop.
Thursday night special of it, and Jalen Ramsey called him out about like
LeBron,
lying.
you be capping a lot.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was like,
So it's
I
got-
see that.
So ever since that, it's like kicked up even more. But like now they're like there's memes out of it like, see, I tried to tell CP you got a family, man. You can't be doing this.
Dude, there's another one where it's him sitting.
Wow.
It's LeBron sitting next to his wife Gloria, going, "I mean, I didn't really kick it with CP. It was more me and
He was
like,
more Melo's
Melo's friend."
That's wow. I did not. I gotta catch that.
So he's even getting roasted for this one too. So it's pretty funny, man. It's
I
pretty
love-
funny.
I saw
Poor
one
Chris
that was
Paul,
like,
man.
I saw
I
somebody.
don't want none of this.
I guess if Chris did this, it was gonna come to light at some point, right? But boy, that's a tough night to have it come
I
to light
saw
like that.
somebody tweeted Devin Booker's best assist ever was CP3 to Kim K.
No, they said Devin Booker's only assist because he was dating Kendall Jenner.
was.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like that's how you
It
get
is.
in the
It's not-
network.
It's not was, it's
Wow.
It is?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Intertwined.
Now we talking.
And then the Suns had the Suns had the blow bang in the
that's
hotel
another-
room.
Well, that's another little. Like,
Shouts to Devin Booker because I guess he's probably the only established man that has dipped into the Kardashian pool and has not come out on the terrible side of it yet. He's still doing
Not
his thing. He
yet.
dropped a 50 burger the other night.
yet.
Yet
Hey, they usually go down quick.
Reggie survived for a minute.
Listen, they usually go down real quick. He's the only one that's kind
What
of
do you mean?
stayed above water.
CP3's almost retired now, and he damn near escaped, and then it's boom.
So this LeBron thing is shocking to me too, because LeBron, it's going through all that. But then, did y'all see the LeBron thing where he came out and tried to get on Jerry Jones?
Yeah, well, he didn't try. I think he was.
He did.
He was kind of successful.
It was more about the media, I think, what he was trying to do.
It was more about the media.
But I didn't even know about the Jerry Jones thing until that happened. I guess I'm not in the.
Yeah, it was more about the media.
Pretty
He
shocking.
was Jerry Jones turned into Forrest Gump. He was at the riots.
Hey, to Jerry. Hey, to Jerry's. That's the only
He
thing
said,
Jerry.
I was just curious.
Hey, that's the only thing Jerry could have said. Now, when he says that, and you look at the picture, you're like, Jerry, you is in that thing,
You're
but okay.
the front lines, dog.
I know, but he wasn't like the first. There was like 3 dudes in there where you're like, man, y'all said the wrong words. Right there.
He literally went like Gary Bertier, remember the Titans, load up the truck, we're going
I
out
know.
to T.C.
I know.
Williams.
He was in the back. Yeah,
I'm just observing.
yeah. he
What
was.
happened 30 seconds after that?
That was a bad deal. How about that, man? Imagine how many times that's going to happen over the next 40 years. Because if a picture can come out like that
Why is it so clear?
from that, they get a picture like that. Who photoshopped that?
Who knew that was Jerry anyway?
Man, how did they find out that was Jerry?
It's not like there's like names at the bottom, like seated from left to right. How did you know that was him?
How did they figure out that was Jerry Jones?
Hey, what if Jerry would have just been like, that ain't me, dog?
Yeah,
Prove it. CSI Arkansas.
but I think that proves.
Enhance.
I think that proves Jerry.
Enhance.
I think that proves that Jerry was not in the wrong place at the wrong time, because when that thing came up, Jerry went, "Oh yeah, I was in nothing." He knew.
Like he saw that picture 2 weeks ago.
that.
He saw that picture 2 weeks ago at the Arkansas crib. Like,
He knew.
How y'all got this one?
Oh, he saw that thing 20 years ago and said, man, yo, I throw that thing away.
They in the
Hey,
KA
wish
house
you
that
would've.
got
I'm
me.
employing all these black folks now. I can't y'all can't have me out here like this. Man,
Man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You can't. It's hard to run from that one.
Man.
I don't know how you run from that one.
I don't know.
I don't know how you run from that one.
He did it. He said, I was just curious.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't think that was a successful run. I don't know how you. That's a tough one.
It's not the space exhibit. Like, I'm curious
Stop.
about the moon.
You don't think we went to the moon, do you, Lloyd?
Let's talk about.
I don't think
this
so.
LSU baseball team.
Same.
They're gonna
A-Town.
Omaha or bust, and that's really as simple as it gets.
You said something to start the show that I did want to come back to. Including Dylan Cruz, there's 5 other,
Six in the
There's
top 100.
6 in the top 100.
including Dylan Cruz.
Yeah,
So there's 6 in a top 100, 200.
100.
Top 100. And they're all
Top
67
100.
or higher.
Type 100 draft prospects for this upcoming
College
draft.
Yes.
prospects this
For the
upcoming-
upcoming
that's-
draft.
Only
it's-
this year.
Only this year. It's not counting Tommy White or Thatcher Hurd or any of the underclassmen.
No underclassmen. Only draft eligible.
You're telling me they have 6 players
Chris.
that are in the top 100 that are going to get drafted?
we had a really good team here that I think everyone kind of knew was really good to start of the year.
Not even close.
It wasn't this.
That's incredible.
It wasn't this.
So
Were you surprised? Okay, were you surprised at all at the order of it? I thought Trey was pretty back there.
So
I thought it was really pitcher heavy.
I
what's
think
he
the
gonna
Trey
play?
thing, yeah, the
That's
Trey
draft,
thing is
that's draft stuff.
yeah.
the Trey thing is going to be very, very. I think Trey's probably got the chance of the group to be the highest riser, depending on
The year.
probably what kind of versatility he can show this year, and if there is an uptick in power. That's what I think.
I thought it was really pitcher heavy though, because Grant Taylor was up there at 15. We're like, he was good last year. Don't get me wrong, but it was like you
I
could
think-
see the improvements.
I
that
think
needed to
he's
be
also
made.
got
he
the.
was 15.
I think he's
Yeah.
got the chance to be the biggest. Oh shit! I didn't know he was this.
I
Yeah.
thought he was last year too, though, man.
that's
I
my
could not
point.
Yeah,
believe that
that's
he
my
didn't
point.
pitch
yeah,
more.
like we
Like,
could,
no,
we
that's my
could
point.
see it last year.
Yeah.
Like we could see the
I
velo.
think-
We
I
could
I
see
thought he
the,
should have pitched more.
I think with an expanded role this year, he's going to be the one where you're like, wow, I didn't realize he was that good.
And to be honest, if you look at it, think of last year's starting 3. You know, like whatever you thought of them, and look at now. Your projected Friday, Saturday guys are number 10 and 15 in the whole draft class.
Yep.
So that's Skinnick or whatever. his name is.
Skeens and Taylor.
Yeah.
Skinnicky.
The Skins gland.
So can y'all give me the rundown of what the deal is? Do you guys remember off the top of your head? So it was obviously Cruz at 1.
Cruz at 1,
Skeens at 10.
Skeens at 10, Taylor at 15. They had
Somebody at 20 something, right?
Who?
Somebody.
Grant Taylor was at 15.
Grant Taylor was at 15.
Whoever,
I know Trey was around 47 or so. Tyler Floyd, Ty Floyd was about 5 to 10 spots ahead of Trey.
I think it was Ty Floyd at 43, Trey at 47, and Christian Little at like 67. That's the numbers.
Is he gonna pitch?
He has to.
Okay, I got it. So I got
Little. I know Skeen's gonna pitch.
Okay, wait, I got all of them. So we had
nukes.
I got all of them. Dylan at 1, Skeens at 10, Taylor at 15, Floyd at 44, Trey at 47, and Christian Little at 67.
Boy, my memory's pretty good.
And then Tanks, and then.
But they're not on
guys.
there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But you got the other guys too.
Yeah.
That's not.
If you just had those 6 guys on your roster,
Friday night guy's not even your possible Friday night guy.
It's not even on there.
Because he's probably not going to be because of Skeens doing both.
Hurd.
He's probably not going to be because of Skeens doing both.
Well, I think the pitching is like there's.
But
you're telling me that they have 3 guys.
Christian Little's got a chance to be the Sunday guy.
I'm about to say you have 2. You have Christian Little's a possible Sunday guy. Hurd's probably in the rotation.
If he ain't the Sunday guy, if he ain't the Sunday guy, it's because you have Ty Floyd, and because you have.
Grant Taylor and
I'm confused.
Hurd and
I'm confused. I thought you said So why wouldn't the 3 guys be?
Because I don't know. I just listen.
We don't know how healthy Hurd is.
Well, y'all talk to Jay every other week. Can we ask him?
But we let him do his thing. We let him do his thing. I'm just saying.
Every time I turn on the show,
he doesn't
Jay's
know
on.
either. If we asked him that, he'd be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
I'd like to be on next time. I'll ask him.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ty Floyd win the Sunday job, or Floyd, Hurd, or Little. I mean, they really have 5 guys.
There's some bodies.
I've just always believed this too, man. Like the starting pitch is so incredibly important, man.
Yeah, it is.
But you absolutely got to have people at the back end of the game. The games are actually there's a lot of games decided in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Wouldn't you want one of your best guys out there? So it's okay to have 5 guys that can pitch because somebody's got to finish the games.
Yeah. Look what happened to LSU last year. That's what they were dying for. They needed more arms because you couldn't get through the.
No, what they were dying for is they needed starters because those
right.
bullpen
That's what I'm saying. The bullpen was
those
toast.
more arms. Yeah, they were done at the end of the year, and rightfully so. Like that's
they
not a knock on them. It's just
have,
that's what it
so
should have been.
I think some of the freshmen you'll see step up in those bullpen roles,
Yeah.
like Chase Shores. He'll come in, throw 1 inning at 98, and then he'll.
Didn't he play shortstop too?
Well, you know how this works, though, right? Like, because we got 5 guys on the list.
You got Riley Cooper coming back too.
What a change of pace he's going to be now.
Right?
I tell you what, nobody's talking about it. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Nate. Starts with an A. It's a transfer guy, left-handed. He has shoved throughout.
Nate A.
He did shove throughout the whole
Nate A.
fall.
Big Nate.
It's like backyard baseball. You just get Nate A.
You know how that works. So 5 guys on the thing, 3 of them are going to have good years. One of them's going to have a terrible year. One of them's going to have an okay
One
year.
of them might not be it.
But
not everybody's going to live up.
But you still got Riley Cooper. You still got Shore. You still got guys on the back end.
When you sit here and we're not even talking about the Riley Coopers yet. We're not talking about these other guys. It's like, damn, they are deep. Like, they're deep.
Like, if you think about how we won, we had 5 guys that pitched. Like, we didn't really have a lot. So there's a ton of guys that can pitch. Now, I think the game's a lot different. You need more pitching.
Yeah.
But, man, they're going to be very offensive, too. So they're going to win a lot of ways.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll probably say it 15 more times before the season starts. But it's hard to see if this thing, stays healthy. There's a lot of expectation.
That's the only detriment, right, is LSU's health, on the
but I think,
staff.
again,
I don't think
they have the players. The only other thing is you put a massive target on your back. I've said that before, and I'll say it again.
You want that,
Tennessee was the marked man, right?
You want that, though.
And then LSU came in and said, watch this.
See,
and
but
then
I
they play
think,
each other this year.
To raise your point, I think Jay likes that. I think Jay wants them to have that target on their back. He wants them to expect to win every game they play and know that they're going to get everybody's best game.
I think to be successful here, you have to have that target.
Embrace it.
I think they are embracing it.
I think the injury.
I do too.
From what we've seen, what they have told us, in the different interviews we've done, they're embracing it. They know the expectation here.
The only reason I compared to Tennessee is because they did the same thing last year where they were. It wasn't so much of the transfer portal, but they felt like they had the best. Yeah, you don't want to play like that. Like it was borderline egregious. But they had. I mean, they did the.
They F-bombed umpires and got surprised they got thrown out.
Yeah, it's too much. They did too much.
That's what I'm saying. But they had the same thing when it. I guess my greater point is it wears on you to a point to where it's like, damn, every week you get everybody's best punch. And it happened to LSU. After they beat Alabama in football, you got everybody's best punch. And at some point you just get to the point where like, damn, they're throwing like midweek guys, they're going to throw their starters every time. I know that they do that anyway,
I know,
but
if
I'm
you're good,
saying there's
guys.
going to be a little extra juice every time you play. And even if you lose those games, or when you do lose those games, the microscope's going to be so magnified on
Look-
LSU. Like, why'd you lose to McGhee State? It's like,
Okay,
bro.
see,
Lloyd,
but,
can I
like,
be
that
honest with you,
That
man?
happens every year.
I know
at
it
some
doesn't
point.
matter, but I'm saying it's going to be a national narrative.
It doesn't
can't-
matter.
it didn't matter.
Happens that
Can I
happens
tell
at
you-
every point, every year. At some point,
I
they lose a
agree.
midweek game, and everybody shits their pants.
I'm just saying they're not going to be able to. There's the gonna.
I think the guys in the locker room listen and know less of that stuff than you guys can ever imagine.
also,
dude, I
also,
believe
Like
that
they're not
100
thinking about that
and
at
it's-
all.
At all. But I'm just saying, at some point, it's going to weigh on you just the
Yes.
totality of the season.
Way on who?
if you let
The
it,
players.
if you let it,
Yeah, if you let it.
If
But I'm
you let
saying they're inviting, like Jay Johnson is inviting all of this pressure, and you have to make sure, like, it's going to come to a head at some point, and you're either going to, like you saw it with Tennessee, where you can go win 56 games or whatever.
I think the only way the
Well, they
18
know
to
that. I think they know
22-year-old
that.
kids think about that is if the coach puts the pressure or something like
I was about to say, from talking to him as much as we have and how he's approached this stuff, I don't think the pressure is going to be a thing.
No,
for him
the
at all.
the
I
kids
think
don't
when you
know.
own it all.
I think when you
And-
watched them play last year and you saw what was happening and you saw how that went, you didn't say, "Oh man, they couldn't get it done at the end because the pressure was there." They just didn't
No,
perform.
I think this
well.
pressure is going to be different.
see, but I
But
also think
that's what this place is at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
how it
Right.
is.
My point is like
You
you
don't
can
have
get
an
everyone's.
intimidator for nothing.
You can have the number one prospect at every position, and I'm just being straight up right now. At every position that's on the field at Tennessee, for some reason though, you just don't believe that that team's that.
Like, what pressure, though? Like, is somebody standing outside the locker room before Dylan Cruz walks out to the stadium and saying, "Hey, man, you got to win"? Like, what? I don't think that these kids are thinking like that, bro. I don't think that they're really, like,
It's social media. That's how I'm not talking about people
Yeah.
actually. That shit's real now. Y'all don't have to deal with it. We didn't have to deal with it. Like, whenever you ever have been able to, like, walk into your locker room and check Twitter, like, look what Kayshawn did. He never had to worry about that in high school, but when he got to college, he
Fair.
deleted everything after one game.
that's a
I'll
fair
say,
point.
I'll say
his
it
fault.
again. I think when you come to
No,
this,
it's just a mentality.
no, but
It is.
I'll say it again. I think when you come to this school, it's inherited.
it's different.
Like
I
it's
mean,
when you walk onto the field and you look up at the intimidator and the intimidator says what it does, you're like, this is expected. So if I'm
Yes,
gonna come here and be
like,
a part of this,
yes,
wait,
like,
look, wait up.
when-
If
when
I'm
you
gonna
wear the
come here,
purple and gold, the
listen,
expectation
just
is
listen.
different.
If I'm gonna come here and be a part of this, this is what's expected. If I go to Tennessee and all of our best of the best of the best go there, we're just another group that hadn't done anything yet,
Yeah.
and nothing has been done here before. So let's go be the first.
but
It's
we
not
have
that
6
expected
of them.
here.
Like that's the
Yeah, it's
expectation. The
it's
expectation is to
expected
win
here.
it.
It's expected here.
I'm just saying that's part of my point. When you see those guys listed in the top 100, they're like, okay, everybody in the SEC. The SEC obviously isn't easy. Vanderbilt's been there before. The best team doesn't always win. Tennessee was there last
I mean,
year.
Ole Miss was number 64 in the field last year.
Right, and then they win the national championship with Bianco, who's about to get fired
But
halfway through the year.
That's also my point. Is you see
They had
like
no pressure though.
I think
after,
I know. Yeah,
yeah.
to your point, yes, they didn't have any. It's like we're lucky to be here. We didn't think we were gonna be here. We thought
But
we
they
were gonna leave
started
the
off
watch party
preseason number
disappointed.
1.
Yeah, but to what I think is they could go undefeated in the regular season. I don't think Jay would let the players think that it's done. Like they know you can go undefeated in the regular season. It does not matter if you don't win it. Doesn't matter.
And that's the pressure of what I'm talking about. Like it's
Yes.
all or nothing at this point because everybody expects you to win a national championship.
But I think they
And-
expect it too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it makes it easier. It's the hardest thing to do in sports, in my mind, is either to win the March Madness tournament.
Or
If
the
we're talking about college,
Or the
it's either to
baseball
win in March Madness or to win and go to Omaha and win because you have such a small room for error to be able to win it all. It is impossible to expect it to be just a national championship.
I don't know, man. It sounds like when you say there's 6 guys in the top 100, not a lot of pressure.
Right.
The guy's about to get paid anyway. Let's go play baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's not
who
how you
cares?
feel in college. You
I
care
don't know,
so
man.
much when you're there. That's like saying a kid in high school, it's like, I got a scholarship to LSU, but when you're in the state playoffs, you're not going, oh, I have a scholarship to LSU, I don't care if I go 0 for 4. It ain't the minor leagues. Like, that's what they do in minor
I
league
don't think
ball.
you think about if you go 0 for 4, but I don't know.
The-
I don't think Dylan Cruz is in the box thinking about 12.
Nah, but I say the truth of the matter is for me is this is
Well, he doesn't care about
I think
He just doesn't have, like, me and him are very similar. Just I don't even hear anything you say.
So you're
You
the
mean
one
like
over here
outside of-
telling us that we got all the pressure then. Like, what-
Well, yeah, I have to do a job. Otherwise, we'd all just agree on
See,
something.
but I think they know they're good, but they also know what goes into.
Yeah, I think
to
when you
doing
know
what they
you're
wanna
good,
do.
there's not a lot of like they're just going to play. Like they don't know.
I'll say this.
You didn't think Tennessee thought they were good?
I'll say
That
this.
doesn't mean that they're going to win it all. I'm just saying that I don't think they're going to be thinking about that while they're playing.
Yes. Go
will
ahead,
at some point.
Jared.
I'll say this.
The college baseball All-American and first-round
Yeah.
pick. Please talk.
Amen.
Jay's job is to get and put together rosters like this. Jay gets paid to make sure that they stay on task. So I don't give a damn how much Twitter they can look at. I don't give a damn how much Instagram's in their face. They still got to go to that
TikTok.
squad room. They still got to go to that meeting room. Jay's still the last thing that talks to him before.
Amen.
That shit don't matter. All of that stuff doesn't matter. Jay gets paid to put together a roster like this and to manage a roster like
Preach
this.
that shit.
So all that outside nonsense, every team's got that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
So now, you talked about how we didn't have that. Well, guess what? No one else had it then. Everyone's got that now. Your job as the manager, coach of this team is to make that as nullified as possible because it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. To your point, you're comparing them to Tennessee last year.
Amen.
I'm asking you a question. Do you think that Tennessee added more pressure to themselves because of the way they acted?
Absolutely.
There you go.
But
I don't think
that's what
LSU had that
happens
way.
whenever you win.
I don't
that
think
many times
Tennessee
in a row.
lost because they felt
See,
pressure.
but I don't think LSU's going to act like that, even if they win as much as Tennessee did. I don't think they're going to act like that.
It's hard not to get cocky whenever you're playing as good as you are.
But cocky and like asshole is two different things.
Well, and that's where I agree
Yeah.
with you to your point because that's
We
where
saw
Jay
that earlier
Johnson is
today.
The difference between the coach of Tennessee. He
Tennessee coach is
upplayed
a
it thinking he
bitch.
could be brash as no. He played into the brashness of Tennessee. Like we're coming in here, we're going to win it all.
Yeah.
Jay Johnson's going to be measured and educated and step by step.
Logical.
Cocky
right?
and
Step by
butthole.
step.
Cocky and butthole. That's two different things, Lloyd.
Well, also,
Love is
learned that
love.
earlier.
Is love.
Also, Jay Johnson has been there before. He's been to Omaha on multiple occasions.
He's
Tony
also never won
Vitello
it.
is.
Here's the thing too. Like
Tinker Toy Tech thing.
so for me, when I look at this thing too, like you can go back to the years when you remember like Fresno State winning a national championship and stuff like that.
Stony Brook beating LSU in the Super Regional.
Stony Brook getting to
Jay Nowalski and all them boys.
Right.
Was that
Coastal
big old
Carolina.
Coastal
I
Carolina
think
winning it all.
those teams, when it comes to, hey, we're playing with no pressure, is completely different.
Win
Why?
those.
Because they didn't go through the gauntlet of what is the LSU schedule, thinking that, oh, we're better than them. Here's why I'm saying when I'm saying that. Where was Ole Miss last year to start the year?
Number one.
They knew they were good. You get what I'm saying?
They ain't come out of nowhere.
They didn't come out of nowhere. Like,
gotta put
oh,
it
we got no
together.
pressure. We're just here. We're not supposed to be here. Yeah, you are. You were number one to start the year. You were supposed to be here. I don't give a damn how bad you were during the year. You were supposed to be here.
You weren't supposed to be that bad.
You weren't supposed to be that bad. Now you finally showed up. Like I think they knew that. So there wasn't. I don't think they played with the we're not supposed to be here. That I think they played with we're finally showing up. This is us. This is who we are. This is who we were supposed to be.
We
the
put it
whole
together
year.
with a month
right?
left.
So my point to it is when you have teams that like a Tennessee, I keep going back to them because I think it's important.
Because it's two different.
They've never done that, and you go through this
Cricket
league
Street
thinking like,
volleyball.
we just dominated this league. We're the best team ever. I think they got too cocky, not pressure. I think they got too cocky, thinking that they were better than what else was out there.
And Notre Dame busted that ass.
But
Tiger's gonna have a good year though. It's gonna
But
be
that's
fun.
And I think so, too.
no doubt they're gonna have a good year. But I feel
Stop
like
trying to talk him down and pressure.
They're bringing their whole
no,
pitching rotation back.
I
They
agree.
should.
No, I want LSU to win it all. I'm
No,
harping.
Tennessee's bringing their whole pitching
Oh yeah, I was talking about
I'm
LSU.
harping on how hard it is to win Omaha, which you know about, because it's not easy.
Thanks.
Like
He knows too.
Yeah.
Damn,
Glue
Lloyd,
guy.
Come on, get it together.
I actually do have some thoughts for McGhee.
No, let's keep going.
Maneri harped on your bunting skills.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, you
Good.
did.
Hey,
Absolutely
Glue
did.
guy. Glue
Big-
guy. Come on. Come
Big-
on. Come on.
Give you a big shout out.
Guess you're gonna make fun of me.
No, not at all.
Let's
But
move on.
I'm saying, like, I feel like because of what LSU's done through the portal and how it's been so different than how Ole Miss built it in terms of, oh, you're ranked number one, you have all these guys coming back. That's great. What LSU did was make a ton of noise and shake up the entire conference. So now it's more of a, y'all better be good, and you can't start off how Ole Miss did. Now that's up to Jay Johnson how you weather it. Because I would rather be it like Ole Miss, like, oh, never mind, we're not that good. Hold on, let us catch our stride. Because in my
I don't
mind,
think they ever got that way. I don't think
How
that's
cool,
what the mindset.
how
was.
cool is the LSU baseball program that our football team is going to play in the SC Championship and we just spent 20 minutes talking about
that might be
what's
our
going to
fault.
happen in spring? No, I think it's great. I don't think it's our fault. I think it's very relevant.
No, it is.
It's
relevant.
pretty
It's really
cool
relevant.
about
100%.
It shows you a lot about what the program actually is.
All right, we gotta
Which
get
is
out-
why
we
That
gotta
people
get out of here.
that people care about it.
But I do have one question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you
Is it about
remember-
Dabo or no?
No, it's about Alex. It's about Ash versus Menard.
Okay.
And I told this story the other day, and nobody believed me.
You have to hurry.
Did Chris Juno not knock the lights out whenever y'all played Menard? Like, did the lights not go off on the field whenever he was on his crutches? Remember, he tore his ACL, and the lights went off for.
Yeah, he turned the lights off. I do remember that.
Thank you.
I don't
they
think-
were like,
I
there's
don't-
no way there's one switch that does it.
I don't think any viewer here cares about that, but yes.
I know, but we just talked about it.
We could have talked about that over a drink after this.
We still can. Okay. Do you remember when Chase Courtney decapitated Nick Harris? And all
Let's
of us
wrap
got
this
kicked
thing
out?
up.
He's talking about I Am Legend.
Let's wrap
He's
this
talking
thing
about the
up.
legend.
Lloyd, not my
Nick
fault.
Harris is the legend.
Not my fault.
Not
Hit
my
me
fault.
with it. Not my fault. Brought to you by.
Antonio Brown.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Oh boy.
No, wait, what is? Hold on, real quick.
Lloyd, not my fault. Brought to you by.
Assured Partners.
Oh my
Doug, you fucker!
And Frankie Harris.
Frankie Harris and Assured Partners. My, not my fault is, which apparently these are all on me. Hold on, let me scroll down the document. Not my fault. Okay, this actually kind of hurts the heart a little bit. Matt Nagy, Patrick Mahomes was on the podcast with both the Kelsey brothers, and he'd said like a little ditty about how Matt
ended up on the
Nagy,
Chiefs.
who was the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, slipped him the play sheet of what questions Andy Reid was going to ask him. And he said, I studied the plays all night. And then he told, like, which Andy Reid was enamored by. And then he said, look, I want to go to the Chiefs, so I'm going to tell you this. I'm not lasting past 12. And which, in turn, made the Saints trade up, made the Kansas City Chiefs trade up in front of the Saints because they knew that Patrick Mahomes knew that the Saints were going to draft him. So is it Sean Payton's fault for gushing too much about Patrick Mahomes, probably to Mahomes, which made him seem like, hey, we're going to take you? Or, actually, that's it. Not my fault, or is it Matt Nagy's fault?
This might be one of your better ones ever.
I know,
Thank you.
and it was tough. I had to like lock in to see where
I
you
was
were going with it.
I was trying to
I
figure
was
out where you
lost
were
for a
going,
second, but now I
that
got
might
it.
be one of your best not my
That was
faults
pretty
ever.
good.
I would say the fault, if you want to say fault, if that's a good word for it, would probably be on Sean Payton.
Yeah, you got to keep those things close to the vest.
You got to keep that close
You
to
don't
the
tell
vest.
you don't tell anyone who you
I
like.
think the hero in it, which is probably the last really good thing that he's done,
Matt
ever,
Nagy.
was Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
By being able to have a savvy enough move to say something like that.
Boy,
they do
we'd love that, Patty.
They move up in front. Boy, we
Running
could
out of
use
that
Patty
thing.
right
God
now.
bless
my
America.
Could you imagine getting
Andy
the-
Dalton or Patty.
He got the answers to the test. And he's like, oh, I stayed up all night and studied
Yeah.
him. I knew exactly what I was doing on the whiteboard. He's like, Andy Reid walk away going, oh, we got to have him. And he's like, I cheated.
Yeah.
Cheated.
So
Turned
It's
out
pretty good.
that'd been good. That's
That's
a good one. Curtain call. Brought to you by.
Assured Partners with Lance Beal.
You just said that one.
And
Are you kidding
Linsville.
me?
Does Eat Place.
All right,
eat
that's
play.
better. That's better. What do you got for us?
It's actually Big Al. And well, y'all can't see the video, so it doesn't help at all.
The crowd,
But-
the crowd will watch it.
Who's Big Al?
This guy that knocked the fuck out of somebody.
This is unbelievable. You'll probably be able to see it.
I'll show y'all after. It's fine.
But okay, so
I'll
it's
show y'all. I'll show them while you're playing.
So it's two truck drivers that get in a fight about God knows what. One of them's posted up on the bed of his truck, 8 beers deep, like they're all crushed cans, and he's smoking a cigarette. And he goes, "What'd you just call me?" And he goes, Big Al says, "Brother, I don't think you want any of this smoke." And he comes at him. He's got his little headset on. Big Al whops him again, and he goes, "I didn't think you wanted that, brother." And then he.
There's like 6 empty beer cans.
Dude, and he's smoking a cigarette at the same time. This guy has to collect
And you
his,
found this on the interwebs? Like this
yes.
is this
And
normal?
this guy has to collect his glasses, collect his little headset, and it just has Big Al on his, like, stitched into his name.
And so now he's a folk hero. And Mitchell's
Boy, Big Al cleaned up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Them other swings that came before, not very good.
Let's get the reaction.
I wasn't
Show
I
it
wasn't
to-
as moved by
Big E.
Lloyd's explanation of that,
Yeah,
but
Big
I got
What?
from the look on your face, it looks like I got to see
Big
this.
Al hit the target.
No,
right?
this is a visual only. But we're recording everybody's reaction.
Big Al's on the right, obviously.
Big Al's ripping a cig, dude, a
Oh,
Marlboro.
wow, that guy didn't want to.
He looks like
He
looks like Drew Foray.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That other guy came so soft.
Dude, he just folded.
Oh, no, but the way he started punching.
Yeah, he went with the.
Curtain call by me. Right.
Call, what you got?
What was the curtain call
The
again?
best part about the video is
Exactly
his,
what you think
the
it is,
friend
a
that
curtain
the
call.
best
short
wait,
partners.
wait. The best part about the video is his friend that's recording the fight at the end goes, "You got knocked the fuck out."
It's a good thing.
So curtain call would be. What is the curtain call again?
Brought to you by Dozy
Shout out to
Blaze.
somebody.
Shout out to someone.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dabo for finally getting on the
Oh,
NIL
my God.
and wanting to get money
Sure.
into
we
the
just
collective.
gonna end it right there. Hey,
Shout out to
we
Deborah's
appreciate
brother.
y'all coming by, being in here, logging in, checking out, seeing this whole episode. We are on all podcast
Podcasts.
networks, right?
Platforms,
Channels.
or whatever.
Channels.
Subscribe, like, don't like, comment.
Shout out to Big Lou. Big
Watch
Lou
it
might be
again.
watching.
Big Lou, I hope Big Lou's watching. Oh, that'd be great.
Curtain call Denver Harris.
Hey, we appreciate y'all being
Current
here.
call to Lloyd and Stewie and everybody else to help with the video. That came
Yeah,
out.
Oh,
curtain
curtain
call
to
to
Jack,
Jack
for sure. Curtain call to Rohan.
Yes. Curtain call to
Yes,
Rohan.
especially Rohan.
All of that.
He
It's
killed
all
it.
good. We hope you have a great weekend.